As Josh. There we go. Welcome to Bracket Bastards, the show where we take a bracket at 32, 64, and we did a 128 once, and we never did it again. But welcome back to we are the bastards you love as always. And I mean, you might be wondering, why are you hearing this smooth white chocolate voice instead of the usual voice you hear at the beginning of these episodes? Well, I took that voice, I duct taped him to a chair in the back room and said, "You just run the fucking tech. I got this one, buddy. You need a break anyway. Have a couple cold pops and go enjoy yourself." So, hey, how'd you get the duct tape off? But we are here today to talk about one of my favorite topics in the world. A couple months ago, we decided to do a TV Friends bracket. And I was like, you know what, Freddie, why the fuck haven't we done a TV Rivals bracket? Because rivals are so much more fun on TV shows than friendships are. It's so much more fun to see. Well, I'm not going to go into examples because we'll get into those all later. And I had to put together an amazing cast for this one because you have to know TV for this one. You can't just kind of worm your way through this shit like you do with movies. So, first up is Miss. Introduce yourself.
I'm Harley from the Asylum with Harley and Joker and the Mod Squad.
And following her, of course, returning the very handsome. I'm so used to doing things for your wife, introducing your wife, not you, but the very handsome Daddy Kong himself, the husband of Mrs. Bubbles. Glad to have him here as always. He's been on a few of my shows and a few of these shows as well. And next we have we have Kevin. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Kevin from the Mod Squad, and back to the retro review. I am the most handsome of them all, though.
When you'd like to live in another world of delusion, man, let me know how that feels. I'd love to know how that feels for once. And there we go. That's better. And folks, we got a newcomer today. We got a newcomer. He's friends of your favorite special bastard, Q. We don't know why he's friends with Q, but, stranger things have happened. Mike, how you doing today?
Good. Now, we went to high school together. I'm Mike, and I'm a virgin, so I'm breaking that cherry today.
Just don't do it on camera, or we're going to get in a lot of... Just don't do it on camera, we're going to get in a lot of trouble. But, and you went to high school with Q. I got to ask, was Q riding the short bus in high school?
No. He did. I don't even know if he rode a bus, but I think he did. But I don't think he was. No, he's actually pretty smart.
Surprises. He doesn't show it. But of course, last but not least, I had to bring two of my favorite people to work with in the world, the cutest couple I've ever met in the podcasting game. Lisa and Phil from Yeah Huh Podcast get to join us once again because I know of their love for television shows.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's just on old shows, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
How you two doing today?
We're doing good.
We're doing good. We share a camera, unlike many couples who do it from different rooms in the same house.
I like to see that.
Yeah. Philip is considering that, but he can't figure out how to do it without buying a whole nother set of equipment. And I said no.
Well, there you go. And of course,
we're not buying another computer just so I can do it in a different room.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, Freddie's here as well, folks, just to run the tech and say hi to everybody. Freddie.
Hey, Freddie.
Morning, guys. I am here to run comments in the comment section. So if you are on YouTube or on Facebook or stuff like that, have the ability to comment along on the show, I will be the one posting them and making sure they're all fun and appropriate. Well, actually, for this show, highly inappropriate. The worse, the better. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself on the show, go ahead and do that in the YouTube comments and Facebook comments and stuff like that, wherever you happen to find the show.
And folks, we have a few rules in this show, as most of our regular listeners know. But that first rule is, as always, as we've had for, years now, is the right to blow your load. If you don't like the fucking choices, or you love the choices and you can't decide, you can blow your load and go last. Because once you blow your load, you gotta go recover in the corner for a while. Be the little perv there and just watch. But you can only do this once per show, and once you use it, it's gone. And the second rule, as always, is you can steal a vote. The rule we started on Q's birthday a couple months back, because he's a dick, so it's a dick rule. You can steal a vote from anybody at any time up to the semifinals. And you like blowing of loads, though, you can only do it once per show. So save it. Save it for when you really want to use it and when you really want to make sure something gets through. But other than that, the only other rule we usually have is going to be a little different today. If you don't like these matchups and you just want to tell someone to go fuck themselves hard, it's got to be directed at me today. You can say fuck you, Jeremy, anytime you want. Freddie is free from getting fucked today. His ass needs to recover for a little bit. So feel free to fuck me as much as you want. But my ass can take it. It's broad enough. But
Oh yeah.
exactly, Freddie. And let's get this show on the road. Everybody's ready to get going, because we got a lot of matchups today, and we got to get through them in less than 3 hours, hopefully. But we shall see, because we have 6 play-in matchups today. Because there were so many fucking TV rivals, I had to do a shitload of play-ins. So we're going to do those first to get those out of the way, and so we have our bracket set to go. The first play-in is going to get started off by Harley, and it's going to be the rivalry, that word's going to fuck me today, of Captain Raymond Holt and Madeline Wunsch from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And they're going against the rivalry of Jeff Winger and Dean Craig Pelton on Community. It's a sitcom matchup.
I'm going to go with the community ones.
Of course you are. See? And just so everybody knows, I did not make these matchups. This was all randomly generated in a random generator, because there's going to be a lot of matches on here that I would never do. So, just saying, it's going to be...
Yes, sir.
Because I go next in this one, and I gotta say, I love both these shows. I love both these rivalries so much. But I gotta give it to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, though, because Captain Holt and Madeline Wunsch's freaking rivalry is classic. It's hilarious. The Dean and Jeff, it's more just the Dean wanting to sleep with Jeff and Jeff trying to deal with it. So I gotta go for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But what way do you want to go there, Daddy Kong? Has Daddy Kong left the building?
It appears so.
It appears so.
Yeah, apparently.
Chasing Princess Peach.
Well, I mean, he lives with her, so it's not that far a chase. But we'll get to him when he comes back. Kevin, which way do you want to go?
I'm gonna go Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nine. But that, of course, means Mike gets to cast his first ever official vote on Bracket Bastards.
Thinking about both shows, I'd have to go Community, but even though it's a almost not fierce rival with Captain Holt, Jeff Winger's, I mean, he's got to go 4 years of school, and Dean doesn't make it easy, so I'm going to go Community.
All right. Like I said, these are not easy matchups by any freaking means. And that means that, Lisa, which way do you want to go?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What was that? You came through a little
It's a
staticky.
real rivalry. And Dean and
Jeff?
Dean and Jeff have a certain amount of respect, you know, and it's very low key stalking.
So you're going to go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I am. Mm-hmm. I've
And
seen both
Phil,
these
how about-
shows all the way through.
I've seen probably 5 episodes between both of these shows. But I'm gonna go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Because I just think, you know,
Which
I found Community.
which means Brooklyn Nine-Nine does work its way into the first round. And Daddy Kong still doesn't seem to be back, but we'll let him make his decision for that one when he gets back, even though it'd be for dexterity purposes only at this point. But that means I get to start the next play-in matchup, and fuck. Fuck you, Jeremy. Yeah, fuck you, Jeremy. Fuck you.
Mhm.
Because this matchup is fucked. This is a drama versus sitcom matchup, and it's Rick Grimes versus Negan Smith from The Walking Dead, and they are going against Jerry Seinfeld
Oh,
versus
man.
versus Newman from Seinfeld.
Fuck you,
Fuck
Jeremy.
you, Jeremy.
Fuck
You
you, Jeremy.
bottom bastard.
Yeah, fuck you, Jeremy.
With the big pole sideways up your ass. There you go.
Oh,
Fixed it.
Don't threaten me with a good time, god damn it. But I will have to give it to Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman because hearing him yell Newman is one of the best parts of that fucking show. And
Yeah.
when me and Frey were trying to decide on a cover for this episode, it was either the one that got picked or it was going to be Jerry trying to shut the door on Newman. So yeah, I got to go with Newman though because Newman's one of the greatest rivals and one of the biggest dicks in all TV and movie history. So
Yes.
watching him get killed by a dinosaur was quite pleasant. But Daddy Kong or Josh is still not back apparently. So Kevin, which way do you want to go?
Newman. Seinfeld.
And Mike?
yeah. It's if Negan didn't get like his character like kind of up towards the end a little bit, he would have been really bad, more like worse. But the whole thing with Jerry and like they never got resolved at all. It was like they just hated each other. So I gotta go Newman. Seinfeld.
Oof, we might have an early sweep in this, I swear to God. But Lisa, which way you want to go? Seinfeld or Walking Dead? Love it. And
just
Phil?
Nothing like it.
Yeah, like Mike said, there didn't seem to be a lot of rationality to it. They just hated each other, and I liked that whole thing.
Yeah, it was never explained why they hated each other.
They just hated each other's face.
Hmm.
But that was the great thing about it, though, because it wasn't explained why.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It just fit the show.
So, folks, that means we have 5 votes in a row for Seinfeld versus Newman, which I kind of saw coming, but that means they get to go into round 1. And, oh, there he is. Well,
Forgive me.
Daddy Kong.
I'm at my shop. Somebody shows up. I gotta take care of them.
It's all good, dude. Which way would you have gone, though? Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Community? Because we never got your answer on that one.
Nine-Nine. Yeah,
All
I
right,
like
well, that
Brooklyn Nine-Nine party, but yeah, that's where I would have went.
well that did move on anyway, but and in the current one we're doing, which has already been decided, but it's Rick Grimes versus Negan from The Walking Dead versus Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman from Seinfeld.
Newman and Seinfeld. I feel like their rivalry just lasted throughout the entirety of the show. So I'll go with Newman and Seinfeld.
And Miss Harley, do we have our first sweep of the day in a play-in?
Thank God Felix isn't watching. But yes, Newman and Seinfeld.
Newman.
I love the episode where freaking Newman steals Jerry's girlfriend, and that's the funniest shit in the world. Like, oh my God. Well, we're gonna in this last play-in matchup for this side of round 1, we're gonna see who's gonna face Jerry and Newman in the first round. And this is another sitcom matchup, and it's a difficult one, I'm gonna say at least. But Daddy Kong gets to start this one out, and it's Francis versus Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. And it's going against JD versus the janitor from Scrubs.
Oh,
Oh.
Another fuck you.
I know it's another
Fuck
one.
you.
You, Freddie and Jeremy.
Oh,
This is a new
I
I just want
actually-
to keep Freddie involved.
Hey, we're not fucking Freddie on this one because Freddie's asshole's recovering. So come on.
I had absolutely no part in this entire thing. I'm
Jeremy?
taking notes and running
This
comments.
can-
That is it.
This can.
Oh man,
Fuck you with this can right here.
Bubbles got me into Scrubs, but I grew up on Malcolm in the Middle. This is tough.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Well,
None of these are going to be easy.
I think I'm going to make Bubbles proud, and I'll go with Scrubs because that's a very comic rivalry there. So we'll stick with Scrubs.
All right. And Kevin.
Oh, this one's Scrubs all the way. I love Scrubs. I've went back and rewatched it like 2 or 3 times.
Can't say I've ever done that, but rewatched it. But it was to me, it was one of those one time and done things because I know all the jokes. It's not going to be funny anymore, I don't think. But there's few sitcoms in this world I could rewatch more than once. But which way you want to go, Lisa? Scrubs or Malcolm in the Middle?
Expletive. I mean, Scrubs is sweet and fun, but I look at it and I see like if Lois and Francis were to team up, the world would be in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
What-
Scrubs. I mean, I'm sorry, Malcolm. I'm gonna
Okay.
go Malcolm. Yeah. Mhm.
Phil, which way you want to go?
I've probably seen more Scrubs than Malcolm, so I'm gonna go Scrubs.
Which brings it up to Harley. Oh,
I'm gonna go.
and Mike, did I skip you, Mike?
I think
I did. It happens. It happens. Welcome to the bracket world, man. You get skipped once in a while.
Thanks for having me.
Which way you want to go?
Malcolm in the Middle, they were Francis and Lois were against each
Diabolical.
other quite a
Just
bit,
perfect.
but JD and the janitor were like every episode going against each other. I got to go Scrubs.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, JD and the janitor were kind of like a modern day Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It was just that stupid rivalry that it started over the stupidest
penny.
fucking thing in the world. Yeah, a penny. But I like both these rivalries though because they both kind of had a good ending to them.
Yep.
Like at the end of the show, they both kind of. I mean, Francis ended up delivering Lois's fucking kid, so he delivered his own mother's kid.
Well,
Which-
we don't count the last season of Scrubs, and we'll call it a good ending too.
That's fair.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But Harley, which way would you have gone?
Malcolm in the Middle.
Okie dokie. And that brings it. I'm the last one to go on this one, and Scrubs is already moving on to face Seinfeld in the first round. But I'll throw another one to Francis and Lois because I grew up on Malcolm in the Middle, and that show always was one of my favorite shows growing up. Sad that Frankie Muniz doesn't do acting anymore, but still,
Yeah.
we'll live with it. But we
Well,
can start doing the play.
Brain injury is improving.
But we can start doing the play-ins on the other side of round one now to figure out who's moved into round one here. And if you think these are bad, just wait till we get to the freaking round regular matchups. But this one's going to get started off by Kevin, and it's Walter White versus Gustavo, a.k.a. Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. And they're going against Karen Walker versus Beverly Leslie from Will and Grace.
Ooh. Ouch.
We'll go Breaking Bad on this one. We'll go Breaking Bad. I mean, Walter White, iconic.
Yeah. But which way you want to go, Mike?
It's got to be Breaking Bad for me. Gustavo was so smart, but Walter White didn't know it until later. It's just there is more of an intellectual thing. I think I got to go Breaking Bad.
And how about you, Lisa?
Breaking Bad. I agree.
And Phil?
Like Breaking Bad, 100%. Love Breaking Bad.
All right. And that's not bringing it up to Harley. Which way do you want to go, even though Breaking Bad is moving into round one at this point?
Will and Grace. I'm the oddball.
You're not the oddball in this one, because I am probably going to get crucified for saying this, but I have never seen one episode of Breaking Bad.
Oh man,
It's been on the... I almost just make you do a
I
spit take,
haven't
Lisa.
either.
Make sure you've got
Uh,
plenty of time because you're just block off 3 or 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, I've never seen one episode of Breaking Bad. It's been on my watch list for a long, long, long time. But
It's
I fucking
really
love.
freaking good.
Do better
So-
call
Oh,
Saul, too.
I've heard, but Will and Grace has been one of my favorite sitcoms for a long time since I got into it like 6-7 years ago. And Beverly Leslie, R.I.P., is one of the greatest actors ever. And him
Yeah.
and Karen's freaking rivalry is classic. Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
That was a
it's what
tough
it's what.
match.
absolutely.
I gave it credit.
It's absolutely hilarious.
But Daddy Kong, are you there by chance? I'm gonna take that as a no at this moment, but we'll get his vote in a minute or two because we can go to this next play-in, which oh fuck, it's another sitcom matchup, and it get really Kevin, really.
You just now noticed that?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yes, I just now noticed it because I had to flip back and forth between screens. You know that, but Mike started out that last one from. Oh no, Mike could start this one, and Mike, it's your matchup, your first play-in matchup that you could start is Elaine Bennis versus Sue Ellen Mishke from Seinfeld versus, and I was just watching this a minute ago, Miss Janine Teagues versus Miss Ava Coleman from Abbott Elementary.
I honestly, I love Seinfeld to death, but to me, that's not a huge rivalry through the whole show, so I got to give it to Abbott Elementary.
All right, and Lisa.
I get what Mike's saying, but the fact that Elaine and Sue Ellen started over a bra and Elaine being just a total, yeah. I think I got to go with Elaine and Sue Ellen. And it did go throughout. It just wasn't like every day.
All right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Sue Ellen Mishke the one that was walking down the street without a bra on, or wearing just a bra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Because
crashed.
Elaine gave it to her as a present, and she
Yeah.
wore it as a shirt. And Kramer almost had I don't know, he like had some kind of accident because he saw her. And Elaine was like, "Oh, that's Sue Ellen," and she was wearing a bra, but she had a jacket. But
Yeah.
Elaine gave it to her as a sarcastic gift because she was braless.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was her.
yeah.
Phil, which way you want to go, Phil? Seinfeld or Abbott Elementary?
Seinfeld. Yeah, Julia Louise Dreyfus. I think she's awesome.
And that's gonna bring it up to Harley.
I'm going with Abbott Elementary because that show is hilarious and that rivalry right there is awesome.
All right, and which means it's all tied up at the moment, and it's my vote, and I gotta go Seinfeld. I gotta go. Actually, yeah, I gotta go Seinfeld because I don't think it's. I think whoever wins this is gonna be cannon fodder for whoever wins the next play-in anyway. So that's my personal opinion. But Daddy Kong, since you're back now, hopefully. Waiting for the unmute. There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, the matchup we're on, we'll do that one first, since you missed the last one. But the matchup we're on is Elaine Bennis versus Sue Ellen Mishke from Seinfeld, going against Janine Teagues versus Ava Coleman from Abbott Elementary.
I'm going to go with the devil I know, and that'll be Seinfeld.
Which means that Elaine and Sue Ellen do make it into the first round. But which way would you have gone on Walter White versus Gus from Breaking Bad against Karen Walker versus Beverly Leslie from Will and Grace?
Walter White and Gus Frini. I didn't even hear the other one.
Will and Grace.
Will and
But
Grace.
But that means that Kevin, you get to finish us off for this one. Is it going to be Elaine Bennis and Sue Ellen Mischke or Abbott Elementary?
It's gonna be Seinfeld. I haven't seen a single episode from Abbott Elementary.
I just got into it a couple months ago, and it's actually a really good show. But
I may have
Mhm.
the
checked
guy, the kid from Everybody Loves Chris is really good on it.
it. Okay.
But the final play-in matchup of the night is one of the toughest ones we're gonna have to do, and I'm really happy that Lisa gets started out because it's gonna be
Welcome, Jeremy.
Fox. It's gonna be Fox Mulder versus the cigarette smoking man from X-Files, and it's going against Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Oh, fuck you.
Ooh.
Fuck. Oh, you.
I'm gonna have to go with The Office. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with The Office. When they put his office in the bathroom or his desk in the bathroom, I mean, that was just, yeah. Oh, and when they circulated the circular that he was wanted by the police and he was the one passing it out.
Yeah.
I personally prefer the time when what's his name from Fresh Off the Boat takes Jim's place and they convince Dwight that he was Asian all along, which is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
There should just be a
But-
bracket about pranks Jim pulled.
Yeah.
It should be, but which way you want to go, Phil? X-Files or The Office?
Well, I'd be lying to say I was a huge X-Files fan, although I did enjoy the episode we did together on the imbeciles that
Yeah, the snow that was a Monster of the Week episode. So the cigarette smoking man wasn't even in that one.
Oh,
right. Well, but I've seen all of The Office. The only complaint I have with The Office is there's not a consistent IT presence there. I thought that would have been perfect for Michael. And this whole thing with Jim and Dwight was fantastic. That was like one of the best passive aggressive rivalries that I've ever seen. Just with hiding shit from each other and playing psychological games. It was really good. So the Office. Yeah.
Well, that brings it up to Harley. And which way do you want to go, Harley, if you're there?
I don't honestly care in this one, so I guess I'll go with The Office.
Well, fuck you all so far, because I am 100% going with X-Files, because you want rivalry. Fox Mulder versus the cigarette smoking man is one of the freaking biggest rivalries in TV history. Like,
It really is.
it's such a rivalry, and it's not even like a funny rivalry. It's like a serious freaking thing. It really is. It's just
yeah, that guy impregnated his woman and had him raise the baby without knowing it.
Well, I'll say this about it: as someone who doesn't watch the show or didn't watch the show regularly, I probably know more about it just from lore or just from word of mouth than most rivalries.
Yeah.
I mean, the cigarette smoking man is one of the greatest villains in history. He really is. But which way do you want to go there, Daddy Kong? If you're I think he had a customer.
Say, I would like to say, as far as before Daddy Kong goes, and kind of give him time to come back. The X-Files with the entire smoking man. He is one of the few characters I've ever heard come up in a song with Bare Naked Ladies. I think it's Bare Naked Ladies with it saying, "I hope the smoking man's in this one." So, as far as cultural development goes, between these two, and don't get me wrong, The Office is The Office, but and The Office have to compare with the British version of The Office too, which kind of gives it a down credit as far as I go. But I mean, the X-Files is the freaking X-Files. So I disagree with Jeremy a lot, but the X-Files should be given its due. Being honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, I don't know. We didn't really watch the X-Files all the way through.
If you haven't watched X-Files all the way through, you 100% should. And one of Bubbles' spawns on the screen. You're not Daddy Kong. But Kevin, we're waiting for Josh to get back. Which way would you like to go? X-Files or The Office?
Dude, this one is actually really hard for me because I love the X-Files, and The Office is probably one of my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. I'm still gonna give it to The Office, though. The Office. It's
Well-
like neck and neck, so close.
Well, trust me, when I saw that matchup come up in the random generator, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I'm not doing another generation of it because I want to just stick to the first one and go with it. But
It's a true
Yeah.
fuck you, Jeremy.
it really is a fuck me. But which way would you have gone, Mike, for dexterity purposes and all that?
I would have went with Jimothy Halpert and Dwight Fart Schrute.
I love when they are doing the history of Dwight's farm, and they find out it was a home for fancy boys during the Civil
Oh
War.
my gosh, that was so great. Oscar loved it. It was so great. He's like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen."
It's great. And Daddy Kong, are you back, or did you turn it off because your kid was on screen? All right, he's back. He just needs a second.
It's a working man.
Yeah, I
And
can
I think
respect
that ties in with the Gator episode.
Yeah.
that.
Even if they didn't mention it, to me, it's a callback.
Well,
So are we still
Daddy
on
Kong,
The Office or X Files?
we are on that one. You get the last vote. Your
Well-
vote's the last one we're waiting for.
What kind of bear is best?
False.
Dwight Schrute and Jim Halpert, for sure.
Which means Jim and Dwight go on 6-1, and we can officially start round 1 now since we have all the playing matchups already determined. And y'all gonna hate me for this first one. I'm telling you right now, y'all gonna hate me. And Phil gets to start off this one. It's Johnny Lawrence versus Daniel LaRusso from Cobra Kai, and they're going against Billy Butcher versus Homelander from The Boys. It's a more modern rivalry matchup.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Cobra Kai because we were talking about this before the show. I love the way the roles kind of reversed from the movie to the new series, and that
Johnny became a much more sympathetic
yeah,
character.
you kind of figured out why he was such a dick. In
Yeah.
the movie,
And Daniel started being much more
antagonist,
conflicted and kind of, yeah,
like an
almost a
entitled
role
little
reversal.
bitch,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
Mr. Miyagi down to-
he couldn't
genre.
see that Johnny might have grown.
yeah.
Well, you're gonna go with Cobra Kai then, Phil?
Yes.
And what's going on, Lonnie? Glad to see you watching, buddy. Hope you're feeling all right.
Hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
You stole my line.
And Harley, is it going to be Cobra Kai or The Boys?
It's going to be the boys.
And I have never watched Cobra Kai, so I'm going to have to give that a big fat yep, because Billy Butcher versus Homelander is freaking just classic rivalry. And the crap they do to each other is freaking horrible. But which way you want to go, Daddy Kong?
Homelander and Billy Butcher. That's an amazing rivalry.
Which brings it down to Kevin.
It's definitely a Homelander and Billy Butcher. Cobra Kai, when they're not really rivals throughout the whole thing. They've kind of joined up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But Mike, which way would you have gone, I should say?
Homelander.
And Lisa, finish us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna, in spite of my support for Philip's decision, Homelander. But he hasn't watched The Boys. So,
I'm going to tell him.
oh, sorry, hon. Never mind.
But you're going to go with Cobra Kai, or are you going to go with The Boys? Didn't hear what you said.
Oh, The Boys.
You,
Homelander.
okay. Which
Yeah.
means Billy Butcher versus Homelander moves on 6-1. And we'll be facing one of these two in round 2. And this one's going to get started off by Harley. We're back at the top. And it's a sitcom from many different generations. It's George Jefferson versus Florence Johnston from The Jeffersons. And it's going against Sheldon Cooper versus Barry Kripke from Big Bang Theory.
Oh man, that's a fuck you, isn't it?
Fuck you, Jeremy.
No, not for me.
I'm gonna go with The Big Bang Theory. I've rewatched that show many times.
Well, here's the thing. I've never watched Big Bang Theory. I don't think I've ever seen a whole episode even. So
Yeah.
I have to go with the Jeffersons because watching George Jefferson make fun of Florence all the time was one of the best things about that fucking show. So I gotta go with the man, the myth, the legend, George Jefferson himself. But Josh, which way would you go? He got a phone call.
Yep.
Kevin, while we're waiting for him to get off the phone, which way you want to go?
Oh man, I think I gotta go Jefferson's on this one.
We actually agree on something.
I know. We agree on quite a bit, which scares
Well,
me.
actually, we do. Yeah, it's terrifying. But Mike, which way you want to go?
I didn't think the Big Bang Theory one was much of a rivalry. Like it was, but it wasn't that big. I'll go with Jefferson's.
And Josh, since I believe you're off the phone, is it going to be the Jeffersons or Big Bang Theory?
I'll go with Sheldon Cooper versus Barry there. Absolutely.
Did you mind if I pipe
And
in real quick on something, Jeremy?
Of course you
The
can.
thing, I say the thing with the Jeffersons was a rivalry type thing, but it was just words exchanged. That's pretty much what it was. The Big Bang Theory one, it was a rivalry, and they kept playing pranks on each other. So it was a rivalry, and then some. So you get the rivalry and bonus effect. Like one of my favorite episodes of The Big Bang Theory is when Kripke put helium in Sheldon's office when he was supposed to go on like this radio show. And being a podcaster, ourselves, I can just imagine one of us, if we live closer to one another, putting some kind of helium in our podcasting studios, and then not telling that person. So the entire show, their voice goes from talking normally to going, "Hey, welcome to Bracket Bastard, the podcast where we take blah 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 blah." That would just be fucking hysterical. Jefferson was kind of ill-mannered, so it was a rivalry to say rivalry, but Big Bang Theory was just fun.
Okay.
Well, one, don't give Q ideas. He lives close enough to you. But
Yeah, right.
and I could see him doing that. I could see Q doing that to you, Freddie. I really could. But then again, I could also see him getting too busy playing with the helium and just sitting down. You go down your freaking basement one day, and he's just sitting there laughing his ass off, high on helium. But I could see that. But which way do you want to go there, Lisa?
What do I say when I want to go last?
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
You
Literally
blow your load.
You have to
Yeah,
blow
I
your
want to
load.
blow my load. I thought it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
well, Phil, that means you get to go first.
Well, she wanted to know my thoughts. I said, well, you can wait, but now she pulls this shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved the Jeffersons when I was a kid. First of all, it was like Sunday night, last night of the weekend before having to go back to school. So I'd stay up and watch the Jeffersons. And I loved the way Florence would give it back to George, because George was, he had a big mouth too. But Florence, the doorbell would, almost every episode, the doorbell would ring, and Florence would say, "Hey, it's a doorbell. Why don't you go? Why don't you grab that?" Or there something's cooking on the stove. Go get that. So she was giving it back to George. That's a great one for me, even though it's just words. That was a compelling argument that Freddie made, but I just love the banter between George and Florence. It's fantastic.
So you're gonna go Jeffersons, all right? Which means the Jeffersons kick Big Bang Theory to the curb and go into the next round. But Lisa, since you blew your load, some might say prematurely on this one, but which way you want to go?
I think so too. No, but I'm gonna go Jeffersons. That was my first impulse. Freddie came so close to swaying me, but I'm still going with the Jeffersons because I'm Gen X. It is what it is.
Well, that means the next matchup gets to get started off by me. And okay, this is actually an easy one for me. I'm not going to fuck myself on this. I do that enough. But this matchup is going to be Danny Tanner versus Kimmy Gibbler from Full House. And it's going against Maxine Max Shaw versus Kyle Barker from Living Single. And I got to go with Full House because I never watched one episode of Living Single, but Full House brought me pleasure for years as a kid. And Danny versus Kimmy was one of the freaking key points of that show, was how much he couldn't stand that girl. So, but that's the way I'm going to go. Daddy Kong, what you thinking?
Danny versus Kimmy.
Not even a second to think there. And Kevin?
Oh, Living Single, because some of those comments that they made to each other cut deep. So, Living Single.
All right. And that's going to bring it down to Mike.
I didn't watch the others, so I got to go Full House. Which is sad to say, but I got to go Full House because I hadn't watched. So
yeah. And Lisa?
Living Single, deep cuts. I mean, they really hit each other. Some guy not liking his daughter's friend just didn't register that much with me.
All right. And Phil?
I gotta go with Kevin and Lisa. Living Single. Max actually reminded me of a woman that Lisa and I worked with. And I don't know.
Dolores?
I can't say. No.
No?
Leslie Shows Blunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But just the way
Yeah.
she wore her hair and stuff.
Okay.
But
I thought you meant the attitude.
yeah, even though I can't say I watched the show that much, those two stood out. I knew exactly who they were when I saw them on the list.
And that means, Harley, you have a tiebreaker to break. Which way do you want to go?
I'm going Full House because even in the newer episodes like Fuller House, Danny and Kimmy are still going at each other.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Kimmy loved him so much to like her. I
I agree. I agree with it. So that means that Danny Tanner versus Kimmy Gibbler does move on. But the next matchup is going to get started off by Daddy Kong as long as he's there, yeah. And it's an 80s versus 90s matchup. It's Jack Tripper versus Stanley Roper from Three's Company. And it's going against a brother rivalry, Fraser Crane versus Niles Crane from Frasier.
Oh.
I don't like
can
either
for
one
you,
of these
Jeremy.
shows.
Yeah.
But I'll go with the Devil I Know. I'll go with Frasier. So
All right. And Kevin?
No, this one's not even close. It's Three's Company all the way.
Yeah, I'll get to my opinion on it in a little bit. But Mike, how about you?
I gotta go Three's Company.
Well, come and knock at our door. Not with the monster can, Harley. But
You said you could take it.
just because I can take it doesn't mean I want to take it. There's a difference. As many women have told me in the past. So, but Lisa, which way do you want to go? Three's Company or Frasier?
I guess I'm going to go Three's Company too, because honestly, neither of these rivalries sparks anything in me. So I'm just going to follow the crowd on this one.
So Three's Company gets another vote. And Phil, how about you?
Well, one picadillo I have with situation comedies is it becomes push button comedy. I feel like
Formulaic.
I feel like 2.5 Men got into this bullshit, and so did Married with Children. And as much as I like Jack Tripper and John Ritter's awesome, I feel like that whole Roper Jack Tripper thing was like way played out, and it's just like over and over, blunt, over the head with that bullshit. And on the other side, Frasier and Niles had this very
It's more
nuanced.
intelligent. Nuanced.
You know, they're brothers, they're intelligent, more interesting, and so Frasier.
Ooh, which means it's up to Harley, and this could get interesting. Which way are you going to go, Harley?
I'm going Frasier.
Which I was hoping you would do that, because that means I get to be the tiebreaker on this one. And I never could stand Frasier. I hated him when he was on Cheers. I hated his fucking show. So I am going for the show that my grandparents let me and my brother watch when we were kids, probably way too young, but I'm going for Three's Company because Jack Tripper was my fucking role model growing up. And the way he tricked Mr. Roper into thinking he was, the way he tricked Mr. Roper into thinking he was a homosexual for years is just hilarious, especially when he was living with two beautiful women. So, and one of them who kept changing, but
I love
Yeah.
You
Jack.
picking Janet or Chrissy?
Yeah.
I'll take both of them. I'm not picky, but
I was Team Chrissy for sure. I didn't get
I
the
mean,
whole-
cool.
I
Suzanne
might
Summers,
have-
Chrissy.
yeah.
For some reason, I kind of liked Janet.
I knew
I mean-
I like Janet.
they were Team Janet for sure.
I liked Janet's attitude towards things and how pissed she got at Jack all the time. Like, it was just perfect. But
Huge.
that
Yeah.
means that Kevin gets to start this next one, and this is kind of an older matchup by far. It's Alexis Colby versus Crystal Carrington from Dynasty, and it's going against the Doctor versus the Master from Doctor Who.
I don't give a shit about either one of these.
You're not a Whovian? I am
I'm not
surprised.
a Whovian. No, my cousin is, but not me. But if I have to go with any of these two, I'll go Doctor Who.
And Mike?
Yeah, Doctor Who.
I'm gonna have to go.
Is it good?
I'm a Whovian. As I've discussed previously on podcasts, my friends actually set fire to a set of curtains to see if I would pay attention while I was watching Doctor Who, and I said, "Look, just put that out, okay? Just stop." Didn't take my eye off the Doctor Who.
Did you jump line?
So
Nick,
you're-
or-
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't think
Nope,
so.
it was Lisa's turn. It was Lisa's turn. But Phil, which way you want to go?
So we got Doctor Who, and what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Dynasty. Alexis Colby versus Crystal Carrington.
You actually watched.
Which, I mean, you can go with.
His parents watched
Did
Dynasty.
you guys not see the battle royale at the fountain in front of the mansion where like they're throwing down and Alexis is choking out Linda Evans and then they're like, shoes are flying and shit and hair, wigs and shit. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, she was like Linda Evans scored the cover of TV Guide that year over that mess. So I gotta go with that. It's cheap and nasty as that was.
Well, Harley, which way you want to go?
Well, I know I'm going to get some backlash for this. I've never seen Doctor Who, so I'm going to go with Dynasty because I grew up watching Dynasty.
That show
Well,
was trash.
Yeah.
Personally, I only watched the newer version of Dynasty. It's on CW with Elizabeth Gillies because she is hot as shit.
Oh,
But and as much as they have a true rivalry in that show, they really do, even in the new one. But it's fucking Doctor Who and the Master, and I'm talking old school '60s Master. That Master was fucking badass. So I'm
Yeah.
going with Doctor Who because no matter how many times the Doctor changed incarnations to be a different person, the Master was always a dickbag about everything. I didn't skip Mike. Mike, did I skip you?
Nope.
I don't think I did.
No, I
Okay, I
love
was gonna
Doctor
say. Yeah, I thought so. Freddie trying to fucking call me out shit I didn't do. But Daddy Kong, where do you want to go?
Yeah, I've never seen either one of these, but the only one I know anything about would be Doctor Who, so I'll go with Doctor Who.
Oof, which means Doctor Who moves on 5-2 to the next round. And this next matchup is going to piss a lot of people off. I'm just telling you right now. And Mike gets started out. It's Fred Sanford versus Esther Anderson from Sanford and Sons, and it's going against Jane Hopper /11 versus Henry Creole /Vecna from Stranger Things.
I'm gonna go Sanford and Son.
Ooh, color me surprised I got the first vote. But Lisa, which way you want to go?
Sanford and Son. I mean, they hated each other, and it was good every time she was on the show.
Yeah.
And Phil?
Yeah, that's a slam dunk for me. Fred be clutching his chest and saying, "I'm coming, Elizabeth," and Aunt Esther be, just
Offering him a salted beer and some
she's
steak.
like, "I'll call the bus and take you," or whatever.
Yeah.
She didn't give a shit about him. I mean, it was great.
You just had the feeling if he fell down and actually had a heart attack, she'd just sit there and watch.
Well,
That's accurate.
it is. But Harley, which way you gonna go?
I'm going Sanford and Son.
Oof. Which means Sanford and Son takes out Stranger Things without even a vote towards Stranger Things yet. But I will be the first to throw to Stranger Things a vote because that fight at the end of the last season between the two of them was fucking epic. So I am going for Stranger Things. It's a newer love, but I mean, Sanford and Son's fucking classic. It really is, but it's just Stranger Things is so badass. And I think Daddy Kong stepped away to take care of a customer again. So Kevin, which way do you want to go, or would you have gone?
Red Fox, you big dummy.
Well,
Right.
funny enough, my grandfather and his mother-in-law had the same kind of rivalry, and one time she walked in the house, she thought he was on the couch sleeping. She was like, "Get your lazy ass up and get me a drink." It turned out to be his sister, my great aunt, that was on the couch sleeping instead of him because they look similar faces. But it was just so funny that she would say that shit walking into a house, like. But and Daddy Kong's still not back, so we'll ask him in a minute. But the next matchup is going to get started off by Lisa, and it's one of our play-ins that's got pushed into this one. It's Kendall versus Roman versus I don't even know how to Sabo and Roy from Secession, and it's going against Captain Raymond Holt versus Madeline Wench from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I have not seen a single episode of Succession because we don't have that. So I'm going Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I think their rivalry, while it is intermittent, it is hilarious.
Oh, it's hilarious, yeah.
Did you mess up the camera?
I think so.
Oh, I thought you did it.
Your
There we go.
your camera thing
Okay,
is
you're not on it.
your phone thing is.
And Phil, which way you want to go?
Well, I've seen like the first episode of Succession 3 times, and it hasn't really registered. So, what was
I
the?
think you got to get past episode 1, but
So Brooklyn Nine-Nine for you, Phil?
Yeah, we'll go with Brooklyn. Oh, yeah.
And Harley, which way you want to go?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And I'm going to have to agree with what Phil said because I've never seen an episode of Succession in my life, and I've heard it's an amazing show, but I have not watched it at all. So I'm going to have to go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I know that rivalry very well, and it's hilarious. And oh boy, Daddy Kong's finally back. Yay! Which way would you have gone the last one, Josh? Would it have been Sanford and Sons or Stranger Things?
I would have went with Stranger Things.
Well, you and me would have been the only ones then. But
Yep.
the one we're on right now though is Kendall versus Roman versus Sabo and Roy from Secession, and it's going against the play-in winner of Captain Holt versus Madeline Wench from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes, sir.
And Kevin, which way would you have gone
Yep.
for dexterity purposes?
Yep.
And that's going to bring it down to Mike. Which way, finish us out here, which way would you have gone?
It's sweet. I'd go Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, we'll see if it's a sweep in the next matchup, because this one's going to be a little more difficult, I think. And it's the final matchup in this side of round one. And it's going to get started off by Phil. It's the winner of two play-ins going against each other. It's Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman from Seinfeld versus JD versus the janitor from Scrubs. And yes, you can fuck me. You can fuck me in this one if you want, but y'all made this, not me.
I'll save it. I'll get Seinfeld.
You can
All
have
right.
it. Fuck you, Jeremy.
And Harley.
I'm going with Seinfeld.
And I'm going to give that a big fat yup, because Newman versus Jerry is Final Four material, in my opinion. But, Daddy Kong, is it Seinfeld or Scrubs?
I'm gonna stick with my Scrubs for the sake of Bubbles.
But I thought you didn't want no Scrubs. But, not sure who Facebook user is, but apparently it might be Lisa. I think she's telling Kevin he needs a drink. But speaking of Kevin, which way are you gonna go?
It's Amanda.
Oh, it's Amanda,
let's
okay.
see. This is a tough one because I really like both of these rivalries. I think I'm gonna go Scrubs. I'm gonna go Scrubs.
And Mike?
I love Scrubs to death, but I got to go with Jambalaya. I got to go with Seinfeld.
No soup for you.
That was so good.
But Lisa, which way you want to go? Finish us out here.
Newman! Can't resist.
Newman. And that's the end of this half of round one, folks. So that means it's time for us to take a little ad break. And on today's show, I believe Harley and Kevin and Lisa and Phil all have ads they can do. Anybody want to go first? I'll give the option to Lisa and Phil first if they like.
Okay,
You want to do it or you want me to?
go ahead.
Hi. Welcome, listeners, to not an episode of Yeah We can be found at Yeah Pod on pretty much all of the social media. We do a general purpose discussion, kind of like if you were to visit our living room. We also have a book club called Between the Covers, and we have an album review called
Aaron's Audio Edibles.
yes. And basically the rules on that are you have to it has to be an album that Philip hasn't heard in its entirety, which he says are a lot, but I don't think there's as many as he says. The only other thing we have a movie review show. We do movie years. The participants pick a movie, and then we watch those movies and we review them.
Basically, we rewrite or redo
Yeah.
the Oscars and all,
Right.
amend all the mistakes they've made over the years on awarding, Oscars to these trashy
Incorrect
films
movies.
like The Platoon and shit like that, and give them to Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre 2, stuff like that.
Right.
Yes.
We
Shout out to
award-
Chance.
We award a reward is called the Felix.
Yep. Well, shout out to Chansey on that one for bringing us Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, making us watch The Lust of Leatherface. But that's going to bring us into the other side of round one. Kevin and Harley will get a chance to do an ad after the next break. And
Sorry, we took
another...
up
I'm sorry, what was that?
sorry we took up so much time.
Ah, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. And the other side of round one is going to get started off by... Harley, you started last one off, right? Oh, no, Phil did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Harley gets start this one off, and it's a sitcom matchup and a half. It's Diane Chambers versus Carla Tortelli from Cheers, and it's going against the Gang versus the McPoyles from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm going with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
See, this is a hard one for me because this is my childhood watching Diane and Carla fight on Cheers,
Yeah.
and a show I love now. But I got to give it to Cheers because they don't show the McPoyles in every episode of Always Sunny. Diane and Carla were always going after each other on Cheers on every episode that they were on together. So until Diane left, but I got to give it to Cheers. Which way you want to go? Oh, Daddy Kong stepped away once again. But which way you want to go, Kevin?
I gotta give it to Danny DeVito's wife and go Cheers.
I love the Family Guy freaking skit when it's Danny DeVito proposing to her, and he's like, "Look, it's me or no one."
That's basically it.
Fucking cool. But Mike, which way you want to go?
So, Sunny is my favorite show, but the rivalry between the McPoyles it's really good. I've watched both shows. I'm going to go Sunny, even though I feel like it's not going to go crazy far because there was an episode with them when they held the gang hostage.
Yep.
It was great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The massacre episode. I mean, there was really good episodes with them. But the McPoyles are just crazy. I mean, they drink milk. They kiss their sister. They take showers together as brothers. They're just crazy. But for now, I'm going Sunny, even though I don't think it's going to go all the way.
Well, it's all tied up at the moment, so it could go either way. But I mean, just like you, it can go either way. But Lisa, which way you want? Which way you want to go?
You skipped Mike again.
No, Mike just picked.
Oh, I thought that was Kevin. Never
And
mind.
it's Sunny, yeah.
Yeah. I'm I just hated Sunny. I'm gonna go with Cheers.
And Phil?
I love Sunny. That's a great. I love that show, and but I'm gonna have to go with Cheers also. That's really Diane, or what's the actress? Shelley Long. That was really her claim to fame. She quit the show she thought she was going to be a big movie star or something, but really that was her niche. That was especially her relationship with Carla. So.
Yeah, and it was two really smart people just going at each other.
Well, that means that Cheers will move on, and Daddy Kong's still not back, so we can wait to get his vote when he comes back. But the next matchup is going to get started off by me, and it's... Actually, I think it's the only appearance of Nickelodeon in this whole bracket. On the next part, there will be a lot of Nickelodeon, but on this part, I'm pretty sure this is the only time Nickelodeon makes an appearance. But it's going to be Richard Castle versus Jerry Tyson, a.k.a. 3XK from Castle. And it's going against Clarissa versus Ferguson Darling from Clarissa Explains It All. And I have to go with Clarissa Explains It All because I never watched Castle, but Clarissa Explains It All was my childhood. I freaking love Melissa Joan Hart, and that's where I discovered her. I fucking love Clarissa Explains It All. So I'll give it to that. Plus, it's just pure sibling rivalry. It's nothing better than that when you want a rival. So, and Daddy Kong would be next, but he still is not back. So, Kevin, which way you want to go?
I don't care about this round, so I'll just go with Melissa Joan Hart because she was cute in what was it? Teenage Witch.
She was cute. She was cute. Clarissa Explains It All.
Sabrina. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that means it's Mike's turn now. Is it Clarissa Explains It All or Castle?
Yeah, I was born in 91. I grew up with some good old Nickelodeon. It was I wasn't huge on Clarissa, but I'm gonna go with Clarissa on that one because she's hot.
And Lisa?
I'm gonna go with Clarissa because I didn't actually watch Castle.
So you're gonna go with Castle?
No, Clarissa. I didn't watch Castle.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll get closer to the microphone.
It's all good. And Phil, which way you want to go?
I didn't watch either, but we looked it up, and the villain that plays Castle's adversary, I recognize him. So I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with that Castle.
All right. Which brings it up to Harley.
Clarissa explains it all.
Which means Clarissa explains it all moves on at this point 5-1 because Daddy Kong must be a busy worker today. And actually he's supposed to start the next one, but might have to give it down to Kevin unless he pops in right now. No, he hasn't. So Kevin could start this one out. We'll let him start the next one out if he comes back. But Kevin, it's another sitcom matchup for you, and it's Beverly Goldberg versus Virginia Jinsey Kemp from the Goldbergs, and it's going against Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from the Drew Carey Show.
Oh man.
Oh,
Fuck you,
oh.
Jeremy.
Yeah, that's
This
a
is-
hard
With the
one.
big,
Yeah.
big poll.
Yeah. Mhm. Sideways.
I'm not really a Goldbergs fan, so I got to give it to Drew Carey.
And Mike, I saw your face when I said that, so which way you want to go?
I love both, but gosh, Drew just hated Mimi. Like it was just nonstop every episode. It's gotta be Drew Carey's show there.
It's got to be Drew Carey?
Yeah, it's Drew Carey's show there. It's Mimi and Drew.
Hey, it's Bubbles.
Bubbles, are you taking your husband's place, or are you just stopping by to say hi?
I am filling in for him. Just for a
What-
minute.
what-
We're both working today.
Well, that's a reverse of circumstances. Usually he does the filling in. But
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Good.
All right.
Real
Excellent.
quick, or
well, Bubbles, your husband. All right, so 3 people talking at once. I didn't hear any of that.
Okay.
But
No, no,
Bubbles, your husband was supposed to start this one out, so I'll let you give a vote for him at this point.
okay.
Is it Beverly Goldberg versus Virginia Kemp from the Goldbergs, or Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from the Drew Carey Show?
We'll do Goldbergs.
Nice. Lisa, that brings it down to you. Which way you want to go?
Drew Carey all the way. Jinsey was intermittent.
And Phil?
That's tough for me. I'm not a big fan of Drew Carey, but I like Mimi. I think she's fucking hilarious. But Wendy Covey, or whatever her name is, from Reno 911 and Goldberg, I think she's kind of like on par with Lucille Ball or something. She's freaking hilarious. So I'm gonna go with
Oh,
her.
she is.
Yeah, I love her.
All right. And Harley?
I like both of them, but I like the Goldbergs better, so I'm gonna go for the Goldbergs.
Which means you're forcing me into a tie-breaking situation here, and shit. I absolutely freaking love both these shows. Drew Carey's a childhood favorite, and Goldberg's is a more modern favorite. Both great rivalries, but the fact that Mimi kept Mr. Wick locked in her house for like weeks after the freaking hurricane was freaking priceless. And plus, Mimi versus Drew with the whole Rocky Horror Picture Show versus whatever the other show they were doing that night was. I forget what it was, but
Priscilla in the Desert.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did the whole singing dance off in front of the theater was freaking classic. So I gotta give this to Drew Carey. I have to. It's a childhood favorite. I grew up watching that show, and it's freaking hilarious. I'm not a fan of Mr. Wick doing a late night talk show. I'm really not, but he was great in that show. This next matchup I'm glad I'm not starting because it tears my fucking heartstrings even looking at it. And it was one of those ones I just said fuck me when I fucking made it. But Mike gets started out since Josh is still away. But it's Will Schuester versus Sue Sylvester from Glee. And it's going against Will Smith versus Carlton Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I gotta go Fresh Prince. That's just I mean those two the brothers and stuff. They're just was it cousins or brothers? It's cousins, right?
The cousins.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it brothers? I don't know why I said brothers. Yeah, no, I gotta go give it to Carlton and them for Fresh Prince.
Well, I mean, they did become like brothers by the end of the show, but
Yeah.
which way you want to go, Lisa? Glee or Fresh Prince?
Glee.
And
Sue
Phil?
Sylvester I'm not even sure Will cared about the rivalry, but Sue just could not let it go.
No, she couldn't. But Phil, which way you want to go?
I'll go with Glee to keep the peace.
Keep the peace in your own household? Yeah.
He doesn't care one way or another.
Yeah, that's not a hill I'm going to
But-
die on.
Yeah.
Harley, which way you want to go?
I absolutely love the rivalry with Sue Sylvester. I absolutely love Sue Sylvester and I love Glee. So I'm gonna go with Glee.
Well, to keep things interesting here, because I love both these shows with a passion, I'm gonna throw another one to Fresh Prince just to keep things interesting because these are some fucking amazing shows to go against each other in the first round, and I'm pissed it happened. But Kevin, which way do you want to go?
I love both of these shows, but if we're talking rivalries, I don't consider Will and Carlton that much of a rivalry, so I'm going to go with Glee.
I mean,
That
in
was definitely a rivalry.
the first few seasons, the rivalry between Carlton and Will was pretty hard. Trying to fighting over girls and everything else, but Glee gets the win. That means, and we don't have to force Freddie to make a tiebreaker since Josh isn't here because I know these are two shows that Freddie has actually seen. But which way would you have gone, Freddie? I'm kind of curious because I know you love Glee, and I also know you were a fan of Fresh Prince.
I'm a fan of both shows, so that my fan of the show doesn't really matter. However, I agree that I don't think Carlton and Will were rivals at all. I mean, they may have been the first season due to the fact that Will is coming into Carlton's zone, and he kind of felt threatened by it. But by the time that Will kind of, I'm not going to say made Carlton more popular, but kind of chilled him out a little bit to the point that he was cooler than he was. However, Glee, that was a rivalry. Like that was a straight up evil rivalry that had a reason to it because the Glee Club was taking money away from the cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders, yeah.
And that didn't really fly with
Sue. Yeah.
With Sue, thank you. I couldn't remember her fucking name for a minute. With Sue, so that had ups and downs and everything else. There was points where Sue and it's theorized during the show that Sue actually liked Will romantically, but couldn't get Will romantically. So there was levels upon levels to the rivalry in Glee, where Fresh Prince was maybe through the first half of the first season, and it just stopped. They were friends by that point. So again, I wouldn't consider Fresh Prince a rivalry.
I mean, yeah. Well, once Will took a bullet for Carlton, it kind of changed things. But, I mean, I love the episode where Schuester finds out that Sue likes him, and he's trying to fuck with her, so he sings "Don't Stand So Close to Me" to her. But it's fucking classic moment. But that means that Glee will move on, and the next round matchup's gonna be fucked. This matchup, however, gets started off by Lisa, and this is a older matchup. Well, it's 90s versus 60s. It's Zach Morris versus AC Slater from Saved by the Bell, and it's going against Archie Bunker versus Michael Stevick from All in the Family?
Hands down, Archie Bunker. I mean, Zach and AC were best friends, except when it came to the girls. So Archie Bunker and Mike Stivic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were rivals in a lot of things in the first couple seasons. It's kind of the same thing as Will and Carlton. I mean, they were in the first couple seasons. They were.
For me, the only thing that stopped their rivalry was when Mike Stivic left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
They moved.
Damn meathead. But Phil, which way you want to go?
No, at the risk of being, of being the old farts on this episode, I got to go with All in the Family. And it's like so iconic.
Mhm.
And so many people identified with that relationship back in the 70s. Yeah, All in the Family.
So you're going with Archie?
Yeah.
And Harley, which way you want to go?
All in the Family. I'm going with Archie.
And that I will throw one to Saved by the Bell just to keep it interesting for a minute longer at least. But I mean, Archie Bunker versus. I mean, I almost wanted to put Archie Bunker versus George Jefferson in here, but it just they weren't so much rivals as just products of their time, I'll say. But
Yeah.
More alike than different.
yeah, they're products of their time. That's all it was. But Kevin, which way you want to go since Josh is apparently off camera?
Archie Bunker. I love Saved by the Bell, don't get me wrong, but Archie Bunker was definitely way more of a rivalry.
Yep, and apparently Bubbles gets to step in for Josh once more. But Bubbles, which way would you have gone on this one? Zach Morris versus AC Slater, or Archie Bunker versus Michael Stivic? It's All in the Family versus Saved by the Bell.
I'm gonna go with Archie.
Ooh. And Mike, finish us out here. Which way would you have gone?
I'll go Archie.
Well, just like Alabama, we're keeping it all in the family as we move into the next matchup.
All what you did there.
But
Arkansas.
well, that's close enough. But Phil gets to start this next one out, and it's a 90s matchup. It's Martin Payne versus Pamela James from Martin, and it's going against Al Bundy versus Marcy Rhodes / Darcy from Married with Children.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, that is kind of a fuck you, but I'm not that big.
That's a huge fuck you, Jeremy.
that's yeah. Anyway, I mean, I'm not a big Married with Children. I'm really not and Martin was like event TV. I met Lisa at University Hospital, and we worked with these ladies that would come in Monday morning or whatever the day was after Martin, and it would be an entire 2 or 3 hours just reviewing the whole episode and just laughing their asses off at it. And I like that show too, so I'm gonna say Martin.
All right, so you're gonna go with Martin?
Yeah. Love that.
All right. Harley, is it Martin or Married with Children?
It's Married with Children.
And how about you there? Oh, me. It's me. Yeah, I never watched one episode of I never watched one episode of Martin in my fucking life. So I gotta go with Married with Children.
Amazing show.
It's on the list of shows I need to watch at some point is so long I could unscroll one of those ancient Roman scrolls and it'll go down the fucking street as it's still unrolling. So yeah, but Daddy Kong, you available or are you busy? All his customers are like, why is he being called Daddy Kong?
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, every time I shut off my camera, I make at least $30. So,
Shut off more often then, Jesus. Yeah, it's Martin Payne versus Pamela James from Martin, and it's going against Al Bundy versus Marcy Rhodes from Married with Children.
Darcy versus Al Bundy for sure. All right.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
And
Or just a smog?
Oh Jesus Christ! I've been thinking about this the whole time, and I can't choose. These are so close. But you know what? I'll give it to Pam because she had a better butt.
Well, Marcy
Martin.
didn't have shit, so.
Martin.
But
Martin. Yeah.
Mike, which way you want to go?
I'm going Married with Children. Al Bundy for sure.
Which means Married with Children will move into the next round. But which way would you have gone, Lisa?
Vox Populi, chicken legs. Married with Children.
Which means Married with Children moves on 5-2.
Chicken leg.
And
Chicken legs.
this next matchup gets started by Harley. And Manda went with Married with Children too, apparently. So, but Harley, your matchup is going to be. I'm dreading this matchup already. I am. It's Julian, Ricky, and Bubbles versus Jim Leahy and Randy from Trailer Park Boys. And it's going against a play-in matchup winner, Walter White versus Gus from Breaking Bad.
Oh man, honey, it's on you.
It's on my turn.
No, double.
I guess I'm gonna go with Breaking Bad.
Okay. See, here's what I'm gonna do. Since he's off camera anyway. Since it's well, Bubbles is on camera, but actually, all right. You know what I'm gonna do here? Because I think this might work. It might work. I don't know. I might fuck myself over doing this, but I am stealing Kevin's vote, and I'm giving 2 votes to Trailer Park Boys because Trailer Park Boys is one of the greatest fucking sitcoms of all time. So I'm giving it Trailer Park Boys because Trailer Park Boys is incredible.
Bubbles almost has to choose one way.
But Bubbles or Josh, whoever can vote on this one. Apparently Bubbles. Is it Julian, Ricky, and Bubbles, ironically enough, versus Jim Leahy and Randy from Trailer Park Boys? Or is it Gus versus Walter from Breaking Bad?
Gets to the apartment, correct?
Whatever address they have.
How many?
It says 7 to 10 days, usually on like 3 to 5.
Oh, perfect. Okay, right in front.
I'm gonna go with Trailer Park Boys on this one.
That's it.
That's it.
Perfect.
Have a good one.
Oh, Bubbles, you make me so happy sometimes. But Kevin got skipped. But just to get your opinion out there, Kevin, which way would you have gone if you did have a vote that mattered?
It wouldn't have mattered. I don't have a dog in the fight. So.
All right, then I might have actually had success in this one. But Mike, which way you want to go?
Do I need to steal a vote to get Bubbles ahead and Trailer Park Boys?
I don't think so.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
It's the biggest rivalry. It's the whole life. They ruined his career, Jim Leahy's career, and it's the whole premise of the whole show. I mean, it has to be. It's every episode. They want to try to get him messed up and back in jail. I mean, it is. I would say, to me, that maybe the biggest rivalry in one of my all my favorite shows I've seen.
Well, I am very happy to say because of what I did, Trailer Park Boys is moving on to the next round. But because that was the rivalry I had in mind when I came up with this idea for this bracket. So that is the rivalry I had in mind. So, but Lisa, which way would you have gone?
I was torn, but Trailer Park.
And Phil?
Yeah, this would be the applicable use of "fuck you, Jeremy." Yeah, I mean, I love both shows. This would have been my final, right? So I'm gonna go with the boys. I'm gonna go with the boys. Sure.
Yeah, I just love that Bubbles vote for her namesake. But and that means the final matchup in this side of round one, the final matchup in round one altogether, is going to get started off by me. Oh, how's that work? And it's going to be Elaine Bennis versus Sue Ellen Mischke from Seinfeld versus Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office. There's a lot of verses in all these, so it's hard to say the shit like without stuttering over it. But I got to give it to Seinfeld because I think I want to take out a hard competitor earlier by getting rid of The Office if I can. But we'll see how it goes. Daddy Kong, is it The Office or Seinfeld?
I'm going with The Office. That's one that my modern that I could watch a million times. So Office for sure.
And Kevin?
I am in complete agreement with Amanda May in the comments and The Office.
And Mike?
I have a quick. I'm not going to do it, but if you steal a vote, do you have to do it before the person votes?
Yep, you have to do it before the person votes.
Okay, that's fine.
So you could steal anybody from Lisa, Phil, or Harley if you want to, but
as much as I want to go on the train with you saying about not wanting like for The Office to get knocked out, I have to be true to myself and say The Office because that is such a great rivalry.
And Lisa?
The Office. Absolutely.
Which means The Office is moving on into round 2. But which way would you go for dexterity purposes, Phil?
Seinfeld. Just for shits and giggles.
And Harley finishes off here. Which way would you have gone?
The Office.
Which means The Office does move on 5-2, but it also is not the biggest Seinfeld rivalry on this bracket, and the other one's still in it, so I don't feel too bad about that. And at the end of round 1, that means it's time for another ad break. So,
Let me
Harley
say
and
what Seinfeld matchup it was, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
but Harley and Kevin can do their ad while I go bring my dogs in because it's starting to rain. So go ahead, both of you, speak out.
Hey guys, I'm Harley from the Asylum with Harley and Joker, and we go live every Sunday night at 8 Eastern. And at the end of March, we are giving away custom Ark Asylum skulls.
I'm gonna put 'em in the
Follow
kennel.
us on Facebook, and you can also find
I'm
me
gonna put 'em in the
on the Mod Squad Network, where we go live every Saturday night at 8 Eastern.
And you can find me on the Mod Squad as well, but you can also find me on Back to the Retro Review, where I review movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 1000s. I'm also getting into some tech reviews on Back to the Retro Review on YouTube, so check it out.
And while we were waiting on Jeremy to get back, Mr. Daddy Kong or Josh, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Nothing mine, just working, keeping my business open.
Do you don't have any stand up coming up?
It's all open mic stuff, so nothing major. Like, working on new material.
All right. Catching everybody up. Jeremy and Lisa use their loads, so they do not have them. However, Harley, Josh, Kevin, Mike, and Phil all have loads to blow, and nobody stole a vote. You guys have guys have round 2, which is coming up, and you have the 4 matchups in the quarterfinals, and that's it. Once the quarterfinals are done, there's no more blowing of loads after. There's not blowing of loads. Steal of votes after that. So. And I take that back. Jeremy did not blow his load. He used a steal a vote. So I crossed off the wrong moniker.
All right. And with
Hey,
that,
Mike has a
folks.
question.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Mike?
So just when you say a name, I could just steal a vote and say, hey, I want to steal that person's vote before they vote, right?
No, you have to. You have to vote. You have to steal a vote on your turn.
Okay.
But you can only steal a person's vote if they go after you. So if you start that vote out, like and I'm not exactly sure where we are on that particular one, but
no, yeah, I got you.
So you can only steal the person's vote after that are going
in that round.
Yeah. So
sorry, I'm a virgin.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm not going to touch that comment.
Everybody gets excused the first time. But that means it's time to start off round Oh, your wife listened last night and sent you with the slut pal like I told her to. We'll be using that later, buddy. But that means that round 2 can officially get started off, and it's going to get started off by, I believe that gets started off by Josh, if I'm not mistaken. I think I started the last one. Am I wrong?
I think you're right.
No, because I think I'm right. And
I'm
Josh.
just gonna go safely assume that you did start the last one off because I honestly have no freaking clue the way you're doing stuff. So, yes, Jeremy started that last one off.
It got confusing because Josh wasn't there for so many of them. I had to keep changing order around. But Josh, it's the first matchup in round 2 is going to be Billy Butcher versus Homelander from the Boys. And it's going against George Jefferson versus Florence Johnston from the Jeffersons.
Well, this one's easy for me just because I don't remember the Jefferson. I know who it is, but I never really watched it. So I'm going to go with Homelander and Billy Butcher.
And which way do you want to go there, Kevin?
Yeah, I want to go Jeffersons, but I can't. It's got to be the Boys.
And Mike, which way do you want to go?
Yo, I'm going the Jeffersons.
Yeah, Wheezy. But
Dessert.
I mean, we're smokers. We can do that. But,
Right.
no, I'm wheezy as shit in the morning. But
Me too.
Lisa, which way you want to go?
I see both, and I mean, murder for murder, I got to go with the Boys.
And Phil?
Jeffersons.
Ooh. Keeping it interesting. And Harley, which way do you want to go?
The Boys.
And that means the Boys are moving into the next round. I would have went for the Jeffersons, but the Boys are moving on. And that means the next matchup is going to be 80s versus, I guess 80s kind of. And it's going to get started off by Kevin. It's Danny Tanner versus Kimmy Gibbler from Full House, and they're going against Jack Tripper versus Stanley Roper from Three's Company.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna steal Mike's vote, and I'm going to take Three's Company.
That's what I would have said.
Mike.
Yeah.
Well, trust me,
good.
not every steal a vote works the way it should. Trust me on that one. I've wasted so many of my fucking steal votes and then just had to get ruined. Usually by Freddie, but it happens. But Lisa, since Mike's vote got stolen, even though it would have been the way he was going to go anyway, is it Three's Company or Full House?
I don't respect either of these rivalries that much. But I guess I'm gonna Three's Company was just so stupid. I'm gonna go with Full House.
And Phil?
I just slagged Three's Company last round, but I'm gonna go with it this time over Full House.
So you're going to go with Three's Company?
Yeah.
We have
All
so
right.
much.
And Harley?
Yeah, Harley, we
Come
want
and
to.
knock on our door.
Don't threaten me. But that means Three's Company will move on, which it would have got my vote regardless, because Jack versus Miss Roper is a freaking classic. But Harley, since you're in your husband's place, which way are you gonna go, Mama Kong?
I feel like you're getting your names mixed up today. But
Harley, I just caught it. Jesus. And okay, the two of you were on last night too. So sorry if things are a little crisscrossed. But
I'm gonna mess Josh's whole vote up. I don't know which one he would have really went for, but I'm gonna go for Full House because I can.
Against.
Three's Company.
Okay, nope, that's exactly where I would have gone.
I thought I was being extra.
She just wanted the paddle. That's all she wants. But that means that Mike gets to start off this next matchup, and it's gonna be the Doctor versus the Master from Doctor Who, and it's going against Fred Sanford versus Aunt Esther Anderson from Sanford and Sons.
I gotta go with Doctor Who.
And Lisa?
Ouch. I mean, actual murder versus potential murder. I mean, two hatred versus good versus evil. I'm gonna go with Doctor Who.
And Phil?
Sanford and Son.
Okie dokie. And Harley, back on top.
I'm going with Sanford and Son because, unfortunately, I haven't seen any Doctor Who.
Well, you got about 60 years to catch up on, but and I am going to go for the Doctor because it's the fucking Doctor, and no one uses a screwdriver like that. Not Tommy Pickles doesn't even come close to that screwdriver knowledge. So, but which way you want to go, Daddy Kong? Doctor Who or Sanford and Sons?
The devil, I don't know. I guess I'll go with Doctor Who.
Which means Doctor Who does move into the next round. Almost creating a tiebreaker for Kevin there. But, Kevin, which way would you have gone for, dexterity purposes and all that?
Sanford and Son.
And that's why I'm kind of happy you didn't get a tiebreaker. Fuck you, Kevin. But that means Lisa gets to start off the last matchup in this half of round two. And it's going to be Captain Raymond Holt versus Madeline Wench from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And they're going against Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh, you know what?
A sitcom matchup and a half. Newman. And Phil?
Yeah, Newman. Seinfeld.
And Harley, which way you going to go?
Seinfeld.
And I will throw one to Brooklyn Nine-Nine just to keep it interesting because I don't think it's going to help, but I'll keep it interesting. And see, Amanda would have done the same thing. So, but Daddy Kong, is it Seinfeld or Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Just because I've recently gotten into Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think I'll go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nine-Nine. And which way do you want to go, Kevin?
Seinfeld.
And that means Seinfeld does move into the quarterfinals. But which way would you have gone, Mike, for all the reasons?
All I'm just picturing is when Newman's driving that mail truck and he hits the golf clubs and it's just like, and he's singing while the whole thing's catching on fire. I was going to go Seinfeld anyway, but I just wanted to say that.
It's a classic. It really is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that means the other side of round two gets to get started off by Phil. And it's Diane Chambers versus Carla Tortelli from Cheers. And they're going against Clarissa Darling versus Ferguson Darling from Clarissa Explains It All.
Cheers.
And Harley?
Cheers.
Oh, it's starting to pour now. Jesus. I'm going to throw one to Clarissa Explains It All because I do love both these shows. I grew up with both of them, but Clarissa Explains It All was just so much more relevant to me when I was a kid. Because, a kid knows so much about working at a bar. But, Josh, which way you want to go?
I'll go with Cheers.
And Kevin?
Cheers.
And Cheers does get the throw into the quarterfinals. But which way would you have gone, Mike?
I don't know. I'd probably go. I'd probably go with Clarissa. But Cheers is a classic. I don't know. I never got too much into either of the two, so I don't have a dog in this fight. So I'm kind of glad I'm glad it's decided.
So which way would you have gone though for dexterity?
I'll go. I would have gone. I was gonna go Clarissa.
And Lisa, finish us out here.
Yeah. Jeremy, for ageism, cheers.
Cheers. All right. And that means Cheers moves on 5-2 to face one of these two matchups, and oh, a fucking hard one. It's going to get started off too by Harley. And it's going to be Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from the Drew Carey Show going against Will Schuster versus Sue Sylvester from Glee.
Glee. No question, Glee.
I'm going to disagree with that, and I'm going to go with Drew Carey Show, because that, to me, is a pure rivalry. When he had all her freaking things in her desk explode, that was fucking priceless. Her reaction was beyond... And when he fucks with her makeup every time, oh my god, like that show... I really wish that show was on streaming somewhere to watch. I really do. But... It might be, actually. I gotta really look again. But... the team of Josh and Bubbles. Which are...
His vote, it's
But
gonna
it's
be
not a
Glee.
steal.
But
I'm going with
Jo-
her anyway, so it's not really stealing my vote. She's going with Glee.
And apparently Amanda in the comments is saying she wants to go Drew Carey Show. But which way do you want to go, Kevin?
I'll go Drew Carey.
And Mike?
Do I have a vote to steal?
Yes, you can steal. You can steal Lisa or Phil's.
I'll steal Lisa's, and I'm going Drew Carey Show.
Oh, that look you just got is the look of someone you don't fuck with. But that means with that steal, that means Drew Carey Show is moving on to the quarterfinals. But Phil, which way? Actually, no, Lisa. Since your vote got stolen, which way would you have gone if you were allowed to vote?
I was kind of leaning Glee, but I'm also not upset because I was super close.
All right. And Phil finishes out for this one. Which way would you have gone?
Well, I'm going to give one to Glee for, I can't think of her name, but she was in Best in Show. She's a great comic actress. I like her.
Yeah.
That's why I would have.
Yeah,
Which me?
If you haven't seen Best in Show, be ashamed of yourself and go watch it immediately.
Oh, Best in Show is a great movie, but I got... All right, so I get to start off this next matchup. I'm not happy about it at freaking all. But it's Archie Bunker versus Michael Stevick from All in the Family. And they're going against Al Bundy versus Marcy Rhodes / Darcy from Married with Children. And... yeah, you know what? Actually, no, fuck that. I'm not wasting on this. I got to go with the master who came before Archie Bunker. Always. Watching him call him a meathead and argue with him every episode was freaking amazing. And to think that's Rob Reiner is just still blows my mind to this day. But which way do you want to go, Daddy Kong?
I'll blow my load. No, I don't want to blow my load because if I get a car, then yeah. So Al Bundy. Well, I'm going with Al Bundy.
All right. And which way do you want to go there, Kevin?
I think I want to blow my load and go last.
Ooh. All right. Mike, that means it's up to you.
Man, I will go. I gotta give it to Archie. I love Al Bundy, I really do, but I'm gonna give it to Archie on this one.
And Lisa?
Archie all the way. The clueless confidence.
Yep.
Just classic.
The look on his face when he got proved wrong with something was always classic. But
Yeah.
the cigar halfway sticking out of his mouth, where he's like, But which way you want to go, Phil?
Yeah, Archie. Mine's my own dad.
Which means Archie is moving into the quarterfinals, and Kevin blew his load for nothing but his own pleasure. But
I usually
Harley,
do.
which way you? Yeah. But Harley, which way you want to go?
All in the family.
And now, Kevin, which way would you have gone if it actually came down to you?
I didn't know which way I wanted to go. That's kind of why I wanted to go last, hoping I didn't have to choose. So it worked out the way I wanted it to.
But what would you have picked?
If I had to choose, probably Archie.
Which means Archie Bunker moves on 6-1. And our final matchup in round 2 is going to be getting started off by, well, Josh originally, but I guess Bubbles now. And it's her namesake, Julian, Ricky, and Bubbles versus Jim Leahy and Randy from Trailer Park Boys. And they're going against Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh man.
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody right now. Okay, it's Jim Halpert versus Trailer Park Boys.
This is a no-brainer for me, so I'm
Is
going
it?
Office. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with The Office,
That's
I
my
guess.
end game.
That's your end game?
My end
I
game.
like it. I do love The Office.
I shouldn't have said that because now somebody has
Now everybody knows because it's
an
not
idea,
muted.
and it could be.
I'm pretty sure everybody's hoping Office is in the finals. I'm pretty sure everybody is for the most part, except for me. But Kevin, which way you want to go?
Office. That one's easy.
And Mike?
I love Office is like my second favorite show, but Trailer Park is 3. And the rivalry, I think it's Trailer Park Boys for me. It's easy for me, but I love Jim and Dwight's pranks to death. But it's Trailer Park Boys.
I will put out there the one episode of Trailer Park Boys where Jim Leahy tells Julian that he's his father, and they choreograph out they pretty much choreograph out the whole fucking lightsaber battle between Darth Vader and Luke in that
It's the
episode, and
same
it is
thing.
amazing.
It's
It's literally move for move, and the whole "no, it's not possible" thing, like it's perfect. Like it's literally
Ricky. It was Ricky.
Ricky, not Julian.
Yeah.
Ricky, you're right. I was trying to think of the name, and I'm like, I thought,
Oh
but
my gosh.
superpower
chicken.
I mean, the reason I said Julian though is because you know Jim Leahy wishes he was Julian's dad.
Oh yeah, he
but
was sexy.
No, he
Patrick
wishes he
Swayze.
was Julian's wife.
Right.
Oh, Julian.
oh, when he's in the when he turns into fucking Smurf Jim in the fucking pool of blue with Julian's cutout, that's classic.
My favorite episode is Conky, the first one when Ricky
Yes.
got, a semi taped glued to his arm, and Bubbles needs his tooth taken out because he's infected, and they're all just losing it trying to find a gun in like some water. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, that show. If you haven't watched it, it is just wonderful.
It's one of the best shows. I'm so sad they're not really doing it anymore. But since
I love
Jim
it.
died, it was kind of.
Yeah, some people have died. Yeah, there's the guy, cheeseburger guy died. Yeah.
Yeah,
Randy
a bunch.
died too?
Randy died?
No.
He's cheap.
Yeah.
The Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. Don't look at my stomach.
Yeah,
But,
what it out was Jim. When he passed, I was like,
Yeah.
Jim passed. Yeah.
Which way? Jim passed after him, I think. But which way you want to go?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Which way you want to go, Lisa? It's your turn anyway.
I feel like Randy and Bubbles were like the heart of the show. But it's hard to go without the brains too, which Leahy and
Randy was Leahy's
son, but that's kind of hilarious. Damn, this one's hard. I'm gonna go The Office.
And Phil?
All right, so I think I'm going to blow my load here. Because I think that would be I got one that I definitely want to pick, but I want to see where it goes.
You also still have your steel vote option, just putting it out there. But,
Okay.
but Harley, which way you want to go? Since
The Office.
Phil blew his load. Well, you blew your load for nothing there, Phil, because The Office is moving on, unfortunately. But I would have gave it to Trailer Park Boys in a hot second, and kind of pissed I didn't save my steel vote for this, but it wouldn't have mattered because I'm going last anyway. But which way do you want to go, Phil? Since it's now down to you.
Yeah, Trailer Park Boys. We love the Trailer Park Boys. We saw them live actually. With that big fans.
Yeah. I have a rules clarification. If since Philip blew his load, could you have stolen his vote?
I already stole a vote, so I couldn't steal a vote.
Okay.
But you could have theoretically if you had one.
But
If I had
to
one, I
answer
could-
her question, yes. If you blow
Yeah.
your load, you still have the ability to have your vote stolen if somebody would want to steal your vote, since you are not technically voted yet. That
Yep.
has actually happened in the past. A couple episodes ago, I can't remember who it was, but we were had her vote. She blew her load, and then the person right after her stole her vote. So
It
it's
happens.
like that wasn't part of the plan.
It never is. But that means that we are officially done with round 2. We are going into quarterfinals now. There will be no more ad breaks at this point. And this one,
But before you start that, normally we do a roundup going into round 3. So chill out. Harley still has a steal a vote and load to blow. Jeremy has a load. Josh has a load. Kevin has a steal a vote. Mike has a load. Lisa
Big
has
load.
a steal a vote. And Phil has the steal a vote. The steal a votes, these next 4 matchups are the last time you can use them. After these 4 matchups are done, they are no longer in play.
I've already stolen a vote, and you and
Did you? All right, I didn't.
I stole
and
Mike's.
did Mike steal a vote? I don't think he did.
Yeah, I'd like to lie and say I didn't, but I wish I would have saved it for Trailer Park Boys.
True. Okay. Yeah. He stole Lisa's. I forgot about that. So yeah.
I hate to keep going around with the rules, but can I steal a vote for someone who's like 2 turns ahead of me? What is it? It's
Yeah.
like the person that's right in front of you? Or?
If you're number 1, you can steal everybody's vote. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
one person, but anybody.
Anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
And that means that Kevin gets to start off the quarterfinals, as we're getting into that now. And it's going to be Billy Butcher versus Homelander from the Boys going against Jack Tripper versus Stanley Roper from Three's Company.
I want to give it to
You gonna-
Three's Company, but I can't. It's got to be the boys.
You know, when I put that on here, I had a feeling it was going to be a favorite. But, Mike, are you going to knock on the door, or are you going to blow it the hell down with your laser eye beams?
I'm just gonna go a little crazy here. I'm going Homeland.
Going with Homelander?
Yeah.
And Lisa?
I am going to steal Jeremy's vote and give it to the boys.
Oh, my achy heart. Because that would not have been the way I would have gone. So, yeah. But
I'm aware.
yeah, the boys just moved into the semifinals because of that. And Phil, which way would you have gone?
Well, I believe it. I take you guys' opinion that the Homelander or the Boys is probably an excellent program, but I'd feel disingenuous in picking it because I have never seen it or practically even heard of it. So I'm gonna have to go with Three's Company.
And that's going to bring it up to Harley.
I'm going with the boys.
And as I said, my vote got stolen, but I would have went with Three's Company any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And Daddy Kong, finish us out here. Which way you want to go?
Going with the boys.
Which means the boys move to the semifinals with a 6-1 vote. Jesus. no love for Mr. Roper. Rest in peace.
I
Or
love him.
Jack. Rest in peace as well. But
Don't knock
That
on our
mean-
door.
that means Mike gets to start the next matchup. And it's going to be the Doctor versus the Master from Doctor Who. Or Jerry versus Newman from Seinfeld.
I'm blowing it.
And Freddy's right below you, God help him. But that means that means Mike gets to go last. So Lisa, which way starts off? Which way you want to go?
Newman.
And Phil?
Newman.
Harley, back up to you.
I'm gonna steal Kevin's vote and go for Newman.
Oof. Pushing Seinfeld into the semifinals. Jesus. And
Went that way
I mean,
anyway, so it's okay.
Harley played it right. She knew how to use it.
Yes.
Well played.
I would have thrown it to Doctor Who because it's a 60-year-long rivalry. You can't beat that. You can't beat that with any other TV show in history. It's a 60-year rivalry that never ends. Whenever you think you're the master trapped, he finds a way to get out again. But since Daddy Kong is not on the screen at the moment, Kevin, which way would you have gone if she didn't steal your vote?
Oh, Newman.
And Mike, since you blew your load for last, even though it doesn't matter at this point, which way would you have gone?
What's the deal with airline food? I would have gone with Seinfeld.
Which, part of the fact that Josh is not on screen, Seinfeld does move on 5-1. And it brings us to the other side of the semifinals, which will get started off by Lisa. And it's Diane Chambers versus Carla Tortelli from Cheers going against Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from The Drew Carey Show.
Join Mimi.
You said Drew Carey?
Yep, Drew Carey. Sorry.
And Phil?
Cheers.
Well, cheers right back to you, buddy. But Harley, which way you want to go?
Drew Carey and Mimi.
And I'm going to give that a big fat yup. But is Daddy Kong on? No, of course he's not. Kevin, which way you want to go?
I think I'm going to go ahead and push Drew Carey and Mimi right on through.
And that you shall, as they are going through into the semifinals. But which way do you want to go, Mike?
It had been Drew Carey. Easy.
And that means we have another 5-1 going into the semifinals. Make sure you got that. I know. And the next one is going to get started off by Phil. And this is the final matchup in the quarterfinals. It's Archie Bunker versus Michael Stivic from All in the Family, going against Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Fuck us.
And while you think about that, Freddie, who has steal votes left for this final matchup? Just so everybody's aware.
It is Phil only.
Oh, you are the only person who can steal a vote, Phil.
Okay.
Can't wait for your turn.
Hmm?
On your turn.
Well, it is my turn.
Oh,
Can
never
leave it
mind.
off here.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So
All in the Family versus
I
The
can't
Office.
recall how everybody went previously to try to utilize my steal. So I'm going to say Archie.
Are you
You gonna say
steal it?
Archie?
I'm not going to steal. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Phil doesn't want to use his steal a vote, which means all the steal votes are off the table now for the rest of this bracket. And Harley, which way do you want to go?
I'm going with All in the Family.
And I am going to agree with that and give it to All in the Family. Because I'm still pissed The Office took out Trailer Park Boys. But And Josh is still off screen. So Kevin, which way you want to go?
Office.
Ooh,
Get an
keeping it
office rally
interesting.
going. Let's get office rally going, everybody.
But Mike, which way you want to go?
I agree. Like I honestly would go with The Office, but yeah, no, Trailer Park Boys was good, but like I would have to say The Office between the two.
Well, it's The Office versus All in the Family, but
No, I'm saying like I'm the same with you.
okay.
Like I was rooting for Trailer Park Boys, but between All in the Family and The Office, I have to go The Office.
And Lisa, which way you want to go?
Maybe The Office is more fun, but All in the Family is more unhinged. I don't know. You know what? My heart's going with The Office.
I should have stole yours, I guess.
You probably should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that means we're actually at a tiebreaker situation here, and Josh is not currently on screen. So
Sorry.
I think that means Freddie has to be a tiebreaker since he's.
It is. It's a tiebreaker decision coming down to me. If you want to go rivalry versus rivalry, I personally think that All in the Family was again words. They could do a lot more, but they didn't do a lot more back in the day. What it was, and before I make my vote, I do want to say the shadow effect on Jeremy's face because it's all lit up, and the fact that he has a background going on, it makes him look like a penis.
It really does, yeah.
Well,
There you go.
He is.
So you're quite literally a dickhead right now. Anyway,
Well, it makes sense. Fuck you, Kevin.
again, these are both really, really good rivalries. Looking at the next matchup is going off of as well. The Office had pranks and stuff involved with them and everything else, and it's just, I think it's a better rivalry between the two of them. So, using Daddy Kong's vote, since he is not here, I will be going with The Office on this one, moving it into the final four.
Okay.
Yep,
Josh,
he has, and
Steal.
we are now in the. As Freddie said, we are now in the final four, and who has loads left to blow at this point, Freddie? Since there's only 4 matchups left at this point.
Harley, Jeremy, and Josh.
So only the top row can blow their loads, and I feel bad for those below us. But we will keep that in mind. We will keep that in mind as we're moving forward here, because we are now in the final four, and it's going to get started off by Harley. Yeah, because Phil started the last one out. So Harley, as Freddie always does, I will let you take your pick. Do you want to start with The Boys, The Drew Carey Show, The Office, or Seinfeld?
Ooh.
The anticipation, Harley,
Patient.
is killing me. You realize it's you, Harley, right?
I said
Oh.
Drew Carey.
Oh, you were muted the whole time.
Oh.
Well, Harley, that means you have Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from The Drew Carey Show going against Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office for your first matchup.
Drew Carey.
And I'm going to give that a big fat yup, because the pranks they pulled on each other were a lot better than the pranks Jim and Dwight pulled on each other. They came first and they did it better. So they literally did pranks that could get each of them fired every fucking day of their lives. So, but Bubbles, since your husband's not here and we could finally get a vote from that screen, is it Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek or Dwight versus Jim?
Dwight versus Jim.
All right. And Kevin?
Dwight versus Jim. The prank that I love the best is when he wrapped his whole desk up with wrapping paper. That's the best prank
It is.
ever.
I still say my favorite prank I've ever seen from either one of these shows is when Mimi brought in a potential hire and told Drew it was a future janitor, but he wasn't a janitor and it was a black guy, and Drew said something along the lines of there's a door, make sure to take the door out back so people don't see you coming in. And
I remember that.
Yeah, he was so pissed because he thought it was racist and everything else, and it really wasn't. Just there.
Well, that means that it is going down to Mike. It's all tied up at the moment.
All right, so the montage of when Dwight tells on Jim, and the whole thing is every time I spelled my name, it said diapers. They said there was a pregnant woman that was having a baby, and when I went into the bathroom, I saw Meredith on the can, and it was I put my headset on and I smacked myself in the face, and he kept putting nickels in every single day. I mean, I have to go The Office for that. I mean, just they're so good. He deserved the whole snowball punishment when he got smacked in the face from Dwight, because it was such a back and forth that Dwight finally got his, when we went outside and it was just all snowmen, he finally got his revenge. So it was really good rivalry, I think. So I'm going to go The Office.
And Lisa, which way do you want to go? This is a tight one. Giggity.
I think I'm going to go Drew Carey.
Which means that Phil is the tiebreaker between The Office and the Drew Carey Show.
And that's why I did it.
Well, I've been waiting for my chance to get back at Drew Carey, so I'm going to go with The Office.
I thought you would.
Ooh.
The whole Cleveland thing, Cincinnatians can't handle that.
Yeah. Ooh,
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah.
Cleveland rocks.
I actually do like Cleveland rocks.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
It's a good show.
Same.
Well, that means that I get to start off the other side of the semifinals, and it's going to be Billy Butcher versus Homelander from The Boys, going against Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman from Seinfeld. And I got to give it to Seinfeld, but Josh, is it The Boys or is it Seinfeld?
It's The Boys. Look, these cunts.
And Kevin?
Seinfeld.
And Mike?
When you control the mail, you control information. It's Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld.
Yeah, not anymore. Being a mailman's kind of powerless now. But
that's true.
Which way you want to go, Lisa?
Seinfeld. My dad was a letter carrier.
Which means Seinfeld takes out The Boys finally and moves into the finals. But Phil, which way would you have gone?
I would have gone Seinfeld for sure. Yeah.
And Harley?
Seinfeld.
Which means we have our final four, folks. And, of course, we are going to start with the third and fourth place matchup. And it's going to get started off by, well, where's in that screen, whether Josh gets started out then, since he's actually there. And it's Billy Butcher versus Homelander from The Boys going against Drew Carey versus Mimi Bobek from the Drew Carey Show for third and fourth place.
This one's easy for me. I'm going with The Boys still.
Man, I got to see.
And Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland rocks.
Like it.
Going Drew Carey.
And Mike?
Dude, if you haven't watched Whose Lines It Anyway, it's one of the great, funniest shows ever. And
Yes, it is.
My love of Drew Carey. Oh my gosh, the whole Drew Carey is just the laughter of it, but the show itself with Drew and Mimi, I go Drew Carey. I think they made it far, and I think is a very good spot for them.
The episode of Whose Lines It Anyway with Richard Simmons is one of the best moments in TV history.
He's
Yep.
riding on his back with the props.
Yep. And how he wouldn't stop like going up against Wayne Brady completely. Like it's just oh my god.
He was going at it. He loved it. He was smiling.
Yep.
He loved it. I loved it so much.
He loved it. It was classic TV in the 90s. But Lisa, which way do you want to go?
Say hashtag. Whose line is it anyway? Is a game show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. It is a game show. I do not care.
I agree. I 100% agree with that bastard.
Yep, I agree too.
But Lisa, which way do you want to go?
Who won? Drew Carey. Who won? Whose line is it anyway?
And Phil, which way do you want to go?
I think I'm going to go with Josh and Bubbles, and go with the boys. Sight unseen.
And Harley, sorry to take your mind off your pussy there, but which way you want to go?
Drew Carey.
Ooh,
Which
pretty
means-
Bloof.
Which means Drew Carey wins third place for this bracket. But just like the points and whose line is it anyway, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I would have went with Drew Carey as well, but that means we get to start off the finals, and oh god, fuck Kevin. Kevin gets to start off the finals, and it's gonna be Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman from Seinfeld going against Jim Halpert versus Dwight Schrute from The Office in the finals.
Man.
And before anybody votes, keep in mind, whoever wins this one will face the winner of the animated TV show Rivals in 2 weeks.
Say them one more time, please.
It's Seinfeld versus Newman going against Jim versus Dwight.
Jim versus Dwight, The Office.
And Mike?
I wish I could blow my load, but I can't. So I am going to go. Oh, there's just something so wholesome about Seinfeld's Jerry and Newman. The Office. I love The Office so much, but yeah, I got to go Seinfeld. It's just it just doesn't make any sense, and that's why I think it's so funny, because they just hate each other for no reason, and then that's what the comedy is.
Right.
I agree. Which means Lisa gets to go next.
I'm going to agree with that. The purity of the Seinfeld rivalry, it just is. Whereas, honestly, The Office is just a little bit mean to Dwight. So I'm going to go with Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And Phil?
Yeah, I got to agree. There's no other rivalry can be summarized in one word, like Newman. And everybody knows the connotation there.
Mm-hmm.
Very loaded.
Yeah.
And Harley, you get to go next, keeping in mind that everybody in the top row can blow their load still.
I'm going to blow my load.
And just like that, Kevin's head gets all shiny. But
Please don't blow your load, Jeremy. I can't take it.
but that means that I get to go, and I don't need to blow my load because I'm going to make Seinfeld fucking win and take out The Office. That's all I need to do, and that's what I came here to do. I'm all out of bubblegum, so I'm going to kick ass. But Miss
Jeremy.
Miss Bubbles, you can all you want. You can try all you want, buddy. But Bubbles, which way would your husband have gone? Seinfeld or Office?
The Office. Duh, we already discussed this.
But it's Seinfeld, so it might change his mind. But
No. Office is
and Harley, since you blew your load, well, which way would you have gone, even though you blew your load for nothing? Besides
Seinfeld, probably.
Besides waxing up Kevin's head, but
Good,
which means that Jerry Seinfeld versus Newman takes first place, and it took down 36 other rivalries to get to this point. And in 2 weeks, we will be doing an animated TV Rivals episode, and he'll take on the winner of that one. And let me tell you, that one I think it's on the same page, so I can actually look, but I'm pretty sure it has that many play-ins as well. I could be wrong. Actually, no, that one only has 4 play-ins, so it's not going to be as many matchups, but we will see. That will do it for the Bastards this week. Anything to add before we do outros, Freddie?
Hello, Newman.
No, but I'd like to finish as normal. Giggity.
Oh, okay. So alone in the closet, you got it. Harley,
All right.
Harley, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Asylum with Harley and Joker every Sunday night, or you can find me on the Mod Squad Network, and we're all on all streaming networks, and you can find me on pretty much here lately, most of Jeremy's shows.
Basically. And Bubbles, where can they find you and your husband?
Well, I'm usually right here on Bracket Bastards myself. My husband you can find on the socials under Daddy Kong 83. Yeah.
And Kevin, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Back to the Retro Review, all one word, or on Facebook at Kevin Ray. Just look me up.
And Mike, for our virgin that we broke the cherry of this time. Hopefully there wasn't too much blood, but where can we find you?
Wasn't too much blood. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Mike Van Engelhoven, single. So, dem ladies, you know what I'm saying? But no, yeah, I'm off in the offwoods of Colorado, in a cabin, and so just hit me up first before you talk to me.
Ladies, Mike Hatch.
And Phil and Lisa, where can they find you guys? You're muted, Phil.
Guys.
They're not there.
There you go.
All socials are at Yahump Pod. We are not on part of any network, but we are the podcast All About Nothing, sort of in line with the Seinfeld theme. Yeah. If you do web search of yeah-on-huh, you'll find us. Otherwise, you'll have problems.
Of course. And I have been your host for today. You get to see this beautiful face again in 2 weeks hosting the animated side of this, but you know you can find me on Facebook as Uncensored, Untamed, and Unapologetic UQ Podcast Collective. You can find me on XXBaby and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. You can find me on Vic Talk as that Juggalo Bastard Podcast. And you can find me on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings or Paranormal Than Normal. See all my old episodes. And you can always find me streaming on Parapost Network, great home for all vodcasts and podcasts. And all my podcasts are a proud member of the Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge was blind until Newman came in that door. But I will let the head bastard take the reins back now. His duct tape has been completely ripped off of him.
Yeah, I still have some hair left on my face, so that's all that matters. I am your head bastard. I'm not the host this week, like I normally am, but next week I will be, and we are doing a by the numbers because it is our 123rd episode, so 1, 2, 3 on that one, where we will be discussing movies that have numbers in the title. On socials, you can find me on Facebook at Freddie Fisher. While you're on that, check out Bracketology and Bracket Bastards as well to go ahead and follow along with any kind of stuff that we happen to have there. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Pod. On Instagram, you can find me as always at Can't Lick Me. Not one word. I would like to leave the show with the same words I leave every single show, as that was from the words from the late but great Jerry Springer, and that is this: take care of yourself and each other. Have a good week, guys.
You too. Thanks.